Please welcome Myleene Klass. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Myleene, I have to say, when we were watching that clip, we all went...
Oh, you should have been there. It was even worse.
How did you feel when you were filming scenes like that?
It's hard because you have to be really respectful of what other people's beliefs are, especially when I was in Mexico. I mean, they even erected this entire bull ring just to show us their culture, and it's a very different culture because, for example, they celebrate a Day of the Dead for children, such as the life expectancy. So you can't go in there with your morals or what your understanding is and say that it's right. But it's tough, you know. You're watching 6-year-olds cage fighting. I met a 3-year-old who was bullfighting, and he couldn't really speak. The only word he had was toro, which is bull. And my own daughter, I'm thinking, would I put her in the path of a charging bull?
What was the point of the programme? Is it just purely to show other cultures that we may find a little bit uncomfortable, or is it entertainment? What was the purpose of the show?
I think, well, it's entertainment in some countries for some people, but first and foremost, a lot of these countries think we're very cosseted when it comes to how we raise our children. When I actually told the mother of the bullfighter, who was then 11, that I fast-forward the scary bits of the Disney movie, because Ava just freaked out.
Yeah.
She fell about laughing, and then as they translated it down through the generations...
Was there a feeling... Was it like... pushy parents? Was there a lot of that? Or do you think that the 3-year-old genuinely wanted to be a bullfighter?
I thought I was going to walk into that. I thought that there was going to be riches beyond belief of sending your child into the bull ring, and there isn't any kind of remuneration like that whatsoever.
So why do they do it?
It's in their blood, and that was something I had to learn, because I spent most of it either sobbing, watching the bull. Actually, I didn't even watch that bit, or just in shock.
Was a child a lion tamer?
He's a lion tamer. He grew up in the circus. His dad was a lion tamer. In fact, his dad was
12, isn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, but he'd been doing it since he was, again, 4. No one else could go near the lions. His dad was covered in scars and bites, and...
But how safe is it, though? I mean, you know, obviously...
Not very
I know
safe
it's
at all.
not a good idea to get into a cage with a lion, but, I mean, did you learn of fatalities or, you know, the risk of...
Really?
Huge fatalities. In fact... the bullfighter, the little boy that I met, there was footage, it was all over the news in Mexico, of when he was actually impaled by one of the bulls. And he's never watched the footage back, because he already, with such a tender age, he knows he won't be able to get back in the ring. So his dad showed it to me, again, streaming. I wasn't even pregnant.
I wasn't even pregnant, because I'm surprised you didn't have the baby there and there.
They all thought I was just hormonal or a bit emotional. They were like, oh, bless, because it's so different.
Do you think it's educational for us to see this sort of footage? Because obviously it's quite a lot for us all to take in. What do you... I don't know, what do you want people to get out of it? Because I must admit, it feels quite uncomfortable, the thought of, you know, a poor young boy being gored.
I think it's fascinating.
There's also, you actually realise that these guys, that you can learn so much from them. They live in the moment.
Sure.
We worry our lives away, and have you done your homework, and have you done this? And actually, they're so in the moment, it brings their communities together, and they all actually, weirdly, really look after each other. And so, look, whatever your beliefs may be, it certainly will question those things.
So it's educational, I suppose.
Well, the cage fighting thing, cage fighting is the fastest growing sport in this country now. And actually, I didn't know how I'd feel walking in and seeing children in a cage. It wasn't nice at all. But then when I saw that a 12-year-old girl beat all the boys hands down, suddenly I was like, oh, well, that's already questioning how I feel about this. Look, you'll make your own mind up.
Yeah,
so
no, of course. It's just, I mean, I've got a 9-year-old, so have you. Just the thought of them being put somewhere that might get...
It's on at 9 o'clock, Sky Living.
That's right.
Yeah, I've done my job. I remembered it, baby brain. I've been repeating it.
I have to say, you did very well to remember all that. And how much longer have you got to go, Mrs?
You won't need towels yet. 7. Although I did bump into you.
Yeah, I did bump into you earlier. Literally. Yeah, bump to bump.
When's the baby due?
March, end of March.
And are you worried about it coming early? Because obviously Ava arrived a little bit early.
She arrived, well, not literally, but I went into labour when I was on air.
And is it true you were in an Elvis suit?
Oh, my God.
I didn't know I was in labour.
You were in an Elvis suit when you were in labour?
I was in Adrian Childs' jumpsuit. because it was it's a very long story. I haven't got time to go into it now. But it was an Elvis jumpsuit, and I was walking around with a donut, which was my craving at the time, thinking this doesn't feel right. Went on, did the show, and he kept saying that I was looking at him bizarrely, of which I have no recollection of, so clearly I was. And yeah, then I found out that I was in labour and I went to the hospital.
Yeah, it's now
Do
or
you know?
never.
Do you know what it is, Myleene?
It's another girl.
Oh, how lovely! I mean, that's going to having one child and working
bananas.
is quite hard, but having two.
Yes.
So what will you do? Will you take time out? Would you...
I've stopped planning everything.
Have you?
Beforehand, I had this idea of how it was all going to be, and, you know, we'll go down and get a coffee, she'll sit there and we'll all have a chat and it'll all be really peaceful. It's chaos.
Yeah, of course.
Chaos. And so I realised you can't do it on your own. You need as much help. I beg, borrow and steal. I just try and get as much
And
help
are you
as I
going
can.
to take your foot off the work pedal? Because you are one of this country's busiest presenters. I mean, you know... Are you
your
going to...
nails, amazing.
I know, that's the mink stuff.
Cool. Sorry.
Guess what show I'm in? No, are you planning to take a break, or are you just going to see how things come, or have you got other projects lined up after?
I have got other projects lined up, and to be honest, I am a bit of a workhorse, but I think that's a combination of the Asian work ethic and the Catholic guilt. But I really like to work and show my daughter that actually, you know, mamas, they can go out and they can do it for themselves too. And I'm fortunate I can bring my daughter with me, so I'm very fortunate in that respect. But it makes me laugh when people say, you know, take some time off, because anyone that's got a toddler knows it's actually harder at home.
To work, definitely.
My God, Christmas.
I come here to relax. Great.
Absolutely. Christmas wiped me out, and it's such a thankless task. You clean, you cook, you clean, you cook. Everyone goes home. Nobody says thank you, and you're exhausted.
Actually, what Denise was saying was, can you take a break so that everybody else in television can have a job?
Oh, Myleene, you don't have time. It's Myleene Klass, everyone. Isn't that lovely?